Welcome to our lecture online. Here's another very interesting question from one of our viewers. The question went as follows. Let's say that we're shooting a projectile. The initial velocity is not known, and the angle at which the projectile is shot at is also not known, but you are told what the height is that the projectile will gain at the top of its path. Can you calculate the initial velocity and the angle at which it's projected? And the answer is no, you can't. It's not possible. But that doesn't mean that it's not an interesting problem. So let's take a closer look as to what the problem is and what we can learn from that. So first of all, let's do the case where we shoot a projectile straight up. So let's do the case where we do it straight up. So in this case, the angle is 90 degrees. And our V initial is therefore straight up. Can we calculate the height gained? And the answer is yes, because at that point we can say that energy initial is equal to energy final. The initial energy would be 1/2 mv initial squared, and the energy final would be mgh, and no energy would be lost because of friction or wind resistance. The m cancels on both sides, so we can say that v initial squared is equal to 2gh, or V initial is equal to the square root of 2gh. So we know that the initial velocity necessary to reach height h is equal to the square root of 2gh. What happens when we shoot the projectile at a zero angle? Then, of course, we don't gain any height. Then h is equal to 0. And it doesn't matter how fast you travel, you cannot reach the height that's given. If you're given a certain height, h, then you know that you can never reach h because h will always be 0 because the projectile is horizontal. So in this case, theta equals 0 degrees. So there's no answer here. You cannot reach height h. Here you will reach height h if your initial velocity is equal to the square root of 2gh. But what if you shoot at an angle? Well, what happens then is you have two velocities. We have the horizontal velocity, v initial in the x direction, and you have the vertical velocity, v initial in the y direction. And v initial in the x direction is equal to v initial times the cosine of the angle, and v initial in the y direction is equal to v initial times the sine of the angle theta. So that means that the initial velocity in the y direction is the one that determines how high the object will go. So in this case, what you can say is that v initial in the y direction has to be equal to the square root of 2gh. And of course, since v initial in the y direction is equal to v initial times the sine of theta, we can say that v initial times the sine of theta is equal to the square root of 2gh. So let's solve that equation for h. So let's come over here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to square both sides. So that means we get v initial squared times sine squared of theta is equal to 2gh. So there you go. I squared both sides of the equation to get rid of the radical. Then I solve for h. So that means that h is equal to v initial squared times the sine square of theta divided by 2g. So that is the height gained by a projectile which is fired at some initial velocity v sub naught at some angle theta. All right, so let's now do some hypothetical things. Let's say that h is equal to 0. Not 0. Let's say h is equal to 100 meters. So that's a given. Let's say the problem reads as follows. The height is equal to 100 meters. What was the initial velocity and what was the angle at which the object was fired? Well, we can now set up a table where we can plug in certain values. So for example, let's see here. So we're going to say v initial and theta and see what we get. And see, and height. So h and v initial. So like this. All right, you're probably wondering what I'm trying to do here, and I'm trying to collect my thoughts here. But we're going to put in different angles. So at different angles, and we want to make a height of 100 meters. And let's say that the angle here, and let me do one more column. So here we have the sine of theta squared, And of course, height is equal to 100 meters. H is equal to 100 meters, because that will be the same everywhere. We're going to calculate different sine of thetas. For different angles, we're going to calculate different sine squares of thetas, and then the corresponding v sub naught to get that height. So, what we're going to do here is as follows. We're going to say this. V initial is going to be equal to the square root of 2gh divided by the sine of, let's see, the sine of theta? Yeah, the sine of theta. There we go. So depending upon what angle we use, we're going to need a different velocity. If the angle is 90 degrees, that's the sine of theta equals 1. Then we get v sub naught equals that, which is what we calculated here. All right, so let's plug in angles. At 90 degrees, at 80 degrees. All right, we already know the answer for 90 degrees, except we didn't use 100 meters. So let's plug in the value. So when sine of theta is 1, we take 2g times h. So in this case, we'll put in one more number. So this is equal to the square root of 2 times 9.8 times 100 divided by the sine of theta. So that's equal to the square root of, that's 19.6 times 100, that's 1960 over sine of theta. And what is the square root of 1960? 1960, take the square root, that's 44.27. So 44.27 meters per second. So if the angle, if we have the sine of 90 degrees, right? Okay. So if the angle is 90 degrees, to reach a height of 100 meters, the sines, oh, we don't even need the sine squared. So that means the v sub naught is 44.27 meters per second. Okay, and then you reach a height of 100 meters. What if the angle is 80 degrees? So now we take 44.27, and we divide by the sine of 80. So we take 80, take the sine of that, equals, and now we need a speed of 44.95 meters per second. So for an angle of 80 degrees, to reach a height of 100 meters, and we don't need this column, because I'm just going to use that equation right there. To reach a height of 100 meters, I need this initial speed at an angle of 80 degrees. At an angle of 70 degrees, 255 meters per second. So now we almost are traveling at the speed of sound to reach a height of 100 meters. And finally, at 0 degrees, you'd have to go infinitely fast because you can never really get there. And notice that even though the answer is no, if you're only given the height, can you calculate the initial velocity and the initial angle? The answer is no, but for different angles, you can calculate different velocities. And notice that the less steep the angle, the faster the object has to travel to reach a height of 100 meters before it comes back down. And that is how it's done.
155 meters per second.
That's almost the speed of sound, that's right. That's pretty fast. That's almost like a jet plane.
You'll kill somebody.
Yeah, don't get in the way. That would be dangerous. I would not want to do that experiment.
Is there a certain point with the gravity that you won't ever make the H?
Is there a certain point where you will not make the H? Well, the answer is yes. At some point, when the angle is very close to 0 degrees, you will have to travel really, really fast.
Every time you go around the Earth and you never come, you pretty much just start.
Yes, when you start reaching orbital velocity, actually let's try it for 1 degree. 1 degree, how fast would it be for 1 degree? So 44.27 divided by 1, take the sine, equals, now you're traveling at 2,537 meters per second.
What's orbital speed?
Orbital speed would be 8,000 meters per second, so you're not quite there yet.
So that'd be a fraction of 1 degree.
Yes, yes. Yep. Fraction of 1 degree will get you into orbital speed. Well, if you get enough speed going, you could get into orbital speed. Yeah. Of course, with the wind resistance, it would be hard to maintain that.